Luther King, he famously said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can." We have suddenly become a country, it's not only the opposition, we have a problem for every solution. And we believe that by identifying problems, we are solving them. We are not. I have always said this, Navika, including on your show. The right to protest is a fundamental right and must rest with whoever wants to protest. But you cannot thwart development. You cannot thwart progress at the cost of protesting because you want to protest. If you want to protest, there must be a solution at the end of that protesting tunnel. A. B. They're seen, talked about demonetization, all that. History is a country with no citizens. We can keep going on and on. We can take you back to Nehru. Mr. Modi will take you back to Indira Gandhi. That's not what this country needs. This country needs two things. Number one, Riju, he very importantly said this corruption versus that corruption. But Riju, you're a bright man. Even you can't have competitive corruption. Corruption anywhere with any party must be condoned. And if Shubhendu Adhikari has crossed parties and been forgiven, that too is unforgivable, in my mind. Having said that, I believe the Prime Minister has made three fundamental statements. Don't read too much into his thing about black magic. Obviously, it was said with more sarcasm than, with reality. I mean, even he knows that the Congress or other people are not going to stand outside Parliament and, get into black magic. But there are two important points. Number one, we have started confusing welfare in this country with freebies. Welfare is for people who need it. Freebies is when you insidiously bribe the voter to vote for you. When you give freebies to people who don't either need it or don't deserve it. A. B. Everyone in this country, most political parties declare a vulnerable section only 12 months before an election. Before and after, that section remains unvulnerable for some strange reason. So this culture of freebies is going to hurt and hurt badly. The third point, everyone knows that the states make up the union. Tomorrow, if a state is financially distressed because of the freebie culture, it actually harms the union. And we have seen global examples of that. You've seen what happened in Venezuela. You're seeing it in Sri Lanka. We don't want a repeat of this in our country. Finally, Parliament is the temple of democracy. That is where solutions need to be found. If Parliament has been shut 4 days in advance, that to my mind is not on, and that needs course correction or at least an explanation from the government as to why Parliament was curtailed. I totally agree. But at the same time, Riju, tell me, of what use is a Parliament when everything happens outside Parliament? If you want to protest under Gandhiji's statue and want to solve India's problems under Gandhiji's statue, then why take a salary? Why stand for an election? Why even bother about Parliament? So while you rightly say, why was Parliament curtailed by 4 days? My question as a common citizen is, of what use is Parliament if nothing's going to happen in Parliament? And then to say that the BJP used to disrupt it, which is why we are disrupting, two wrongs don't make a right, Riju. Even you know that. You cannot have a situation where we use fundamental historical mistakes to justify the mistakes that we wish to make. It has to stop. This country needs progress. This country needs the impoverished sections of our society to rise with equanimity and with equality. That is what our country needs. Our country doesn't need political egos coming in the way of personal and, national development. And my point is, irrespective of which political party it is, we've got to stop this freebie culture. The Supreme Court has appointed a committee. I hope that committee makes some serious recommendations, which are then actually enshrined in the government's way of working. Until that happens, each state will compete for giving freebies and not for providing development.
Well,
each state will look at bribing voters rather than respecting voters.
Right to respond, since you were